Welcome to the Explainer. So today we're unpacking a really unique project, one that mashes up high tech with high philosophy. Seriously, it's a blockchain that's actually built on ideas from the past to create something for the future. Let's dig in and see how on earth they pulled that off. All right, let's just start with how the creators themselves describe it: a quantum philosophical distributed token system. Okay, hold on. Quantum philosophical? That's not a phrase you just stumble upon every day, right? It totally sets this apart from pretty much any other tech project out there. And, it makes you ask a pretty big question. Exactly this, what does happen when you build a blockchain with philosophy at its core. And look, we're not just talking about some fluffy mission statement or loose inspiration here. No way. This system is literally architected from the ground up using the actual ideas from some of history's greatest minds. The philosophy isn't just some nice-to-have guide. It's the actual blueprint for the code. So how in the world does that actually work? We're about to see how this philosophical machine turns these super abstract ideas into real functional code. All right, so who are the intellectual architects here? Well, the whole system is built around the core ideas of 6 very specific thinkers. Each one of them basically provides a key piece of the puzzle. Yep, just 6 foundational thinkers. And you can almost think of them as providing the conceptual source code for the whole blockchain. Their ideas aren't just, quoted in the comments. They are literally implemented as separate software modules that control how the entire system works. Okay, now this is where it gets really cool. Just look at how they map each thinker to a specific job in the system. Take Max Planck. His whole thing was quantum theory, right? The idea that energy comes in these tiny discrete packets. Well, they use that for token quantization. So what does that mean? It means the token's value can't be just any number. It has to exist in specific, indivisible units, just like quantum energy. Or check out Gödel. His work was all about logic and consistency. So they use his principles to build a super rigorous way to verify transactions, one that's aiming for a much higher level of mathematical proof than you might see elsewhere. You can see it, right? It's a straight line from a philosophical idea right into the code. So let's zoom in a little bit and really connect the dots here, from these big philosophical theories to actual software functions. Let's start with Gottfried Leibniz. This is the guy who basically gave us binary math, the ones and zeros that, run everything today. So it makes perfect sense that his work is right at the heart of the system's cryptographic operations, all wrapped up in a module called Leibniz.js. And then you've got Kurt Gödel. His big thing was all about the limits of logic and proving things are consistent. So what do? They take those very principles and use them to design how transactions get verified. It's about building a system that is constantly and rigorously checking itself for logical errors. And of course, you can't talk about this stuff without bringing in Alan Turing, the father of modern computing. His ideas, like the Turing machine, are basically the blueprint for how computers think. So here, they're used for state management. Keeping track of every single change to make sure the whole system stays consistent and behaves like it should. So I think you get the picture now. The main takeaway here is that this is not just some loose inspiration. It's a direct, one-to-one translation of philosophy into the system's architecture. Each of these thinkers gets their own software module, a little piece of code that embodies their biggest idea, and they all work together to make the whole thing run. Okay, so we've got this wild philosophical foundation, but what does this blockchain actually do? How does all this high-level thinking translate into features you can actually use? While on the surface, it has a lot of the features you'd expect. It's distributed, it uses tech like IPFS and Filecoin, it has APIs, all that good stuff. But it's the additions that are so interesting. For instance, that quantum-optimized processing we mentioned, that comes straight from Planck's ideas, and it apparently lets the system chew through certain calculations super efficiently by treating data as these little discrete packets. Now, one of the real standout features is this Advanced GREP Search System. If you've ever used a command line, you might know grep. It's a super powerful tool for searching through text. Well, they've basically built a supercharged version of that right into the blockchain itself. This means you can search the entire chain's data layer as if it were just one giant text file. And look how simple it is. This one line of code here is all it takes for a developer to instantly find every single instance of the word transfer on the entire chain. Think about that. That is a ridiculously direct and powerful way to pull insights from on-chain data. Okay, so why does any of this matter? I mean, a philosophical blockchain is a neat trick, but what's the bigger idea here? It's really a testament to the power of mixing things up, of interdisciplinary innovation. This whole project just screams, hey, look what's possible when you smash together ideas from fields that seem totally unrelated, like computer science and classical philosophy. It's a huge reminder that the really big breakthroughs often happen when you look outside your own little bubble. You know, the creators themselves said it perfectly. They talked about how synthesizing philosophical wisdom and computational power, it creates something bigger than just the two parts added together. It's like by weaving together ancient human wisdom with modern machine logic, you end up with something brand new, something that just couldn't exist on its own.
And that really just leaves us with one final big question to chew on. This project is an amazing case study for sure, but it's also kind of a challenge to all of us, isn't it? It makes you wonder, what's the next great idea hiding out there, right at the intersection of two completely different worlds? What other fields are just waiting for someone to connect them and build the future?